I'm drowning in debt, is what I would be saying had I not done all the things that I'm about to mention in this video. And I'll be the first to tell you, to make more than your expenses with a low income isn't sexy. But remember, it's just a season in your life where you have to go through what 99% isn't willing to do to become the 1%. Some people seasons last longer than others, but is a part of the process. So without further ado, let's talk about how you can make more than your expenses. Get a roommate. I think having a roommate was single-handedly one of the best decisions I've ever made. And of course, it does come with its negatives, but for the most part, majority of people, I would assume majority of people have friends. Yeah, I said majority. I didn't say everybody. I don't got friends, but majority of people have friends. And if you do have friends, it's a better experience when you are living your young adulthood. You're living that out with your friends as your roommate. I mean, it's a win-win situation, especially with the inflation rates going on right now. I highly suggest you have a roommate. And for those of you who have a significant other, I highly advise you to make sure y'all both are contributing equally, because that's one major way. That's like a cheat code. Some people don't see it like that. Some people see it like one should do this and the other should do that. But if y'all contributing equally, then it will take a lot of weight off of both of your shoulders, and nobody really has to take on so much pressure. In my experience, it worked very well for me. So I'm just trying to say what I did to help me make more than my expenses, especially when my income was a lot less. And when you don't make as much, you need to figure out all the cheat codes you could figure out. Having a roommate helped me out tremendously. It helped me in many ways. And me personally, I was in a very good position because I had a roommate pretty much my entire adulthood. People see it like it's not a good status if you have a roommate, but if you don't need the rooms, it's like, why not rent it out to a friend? You know, it's like you're renting that area, but you could also rent this space and then it make your expenses go down. It's one of those obvious cheat codes. So first thing first, if you are trying to take on expenses by yourself, find somebody to help you take that weight off your shoulder and find a good roommate. And that's the first part. Be safe with this, because of course there's a lot of people out there that not all the way there, and you have to be extremely careful on who you pick. That's why I started off with saying, if you have a friend, you could try family members, but try to find you a good roommate, somebody that can just help you take some of those expenses off your shoulders. Okay, yes, I'm going to bring up DoorDash and Uber, ride sharing. And I bring this up because, like I said in the beginning, everything I'm telling you is stuff that I actually experienced. And little did I know how much you can truly make doing DoorDash and Uber. Yes, you probably heard it 1,000 times. Oh, gig economy. But what I've realized from actually experiencing it and actually doing it is actually a very relaxing thing to do. Like when you want to kind of clear your mind, take a little bit of weight off, doing DoorDash and Uber can help with that, especially if you're just doing the food delivery part rather than picking people up. Either way it goes, I always did the food delivery part because you don't really have to communicate or talk to anyone. Not that that's an issue, but if you just kind of want to be to yourself and just kind of pick up food, drop it off, it's a lot easier than picking somebody up in that awkward moment. Do they want to talk? Should I avoid talking to them or should I talk to them? So I always took it more so the food delivery route. And even if you don't have to do it, because I was always in a position where I never had to, it's almost a good getaway. Like just, hey, hop in the car, get away. And of course you have your few expenses like gas and sometimes maintenance to your vehicle, but other than those few things, especially if you truly do it as a side hustle, yeah, I mean, it depends on your vehicle. I had a Toyota Prius, so I'm kind of cheating here. You know anything about a Toyota Prius, you know it's like the most efficient vehicle on fuel. It also depends on the actual main source of income, whatever you have to do for that. But if all of that stuff fit in, I mean, DoorDash and Uber is one of those things where it truly can be a lucrative source of income, especially if you do it in a proper way. It depends on the way you do it. And even if you have a main source and you just do it on the weekends or maybe 2 hours after you get off of work, that's another way to boost your income just slightly, just enough to be over those expenses. And that's what we're talking about here. Everything has its negatives, and DoorDash and Uber isn't no different. If you live in an area where is not many people there, like I live in a major city, so it works out really good to do DoorDash and Uber. I don't do it as much nowadays, but back in the days when I did do it, it always seemed to have delivery, so it worked out very well for me, and I can kind of do it almost any time of the day, and there'll always be something to do. If you live in a place that's not as big or is not a major city, this might be a little bit difficult for you. It might not be the best fit for you, so it's definitely by location, and you want to make sure that you live in a place where it works out for you. So make sure you do your due diligence as far as DoorDash and Uber, but from my experience, it seems to work out really well for me. Okay, so this one is obvious, and not everybody job offer this, so I'm not going to make it seem like,
oh, did you try this?
Well, of course, if your job don't offer this, then of course you didn't. But for majority of people, you could pick up more hours at work. And I know, don't click off yet. You can pick up more hours at work. I know work-life balance and, mental health. I get it. I really do. But while you're in this season, while you're trying to get up, while you're trying to make more than your expenses to pay down that debt that puts you in the position you're in, go ahead and work those hours. Go ahead and get that out the way, so now you can live a very healthy life. You can take that time off and give it about a year or two of picking up a few more hours so you can make that little bit more income, so you could put that towards that debt, so you can go ahead and get that out the way. Because when that debt start to snowball on you, when that APR is just so massive that you can't catch a break, it is such a relief when you get in a position to where you could pay that debt off. And trust me, I've been in those positions where it felt like you'll never get out of that debt. So picking up more hours at work temporarily, and this is not a forever thing, it's a season. Remember, it's a season of your life. It feels like forever because it's in the moment, but I also know how stressful debt can be. I also know how crippling it could be. I also know how it just makes you feel like that knot in your stomach, like, oh my God, you just want to get out of it. I'm telling you, once you get to the other side of all this work you've been putting in, it'll be a breath of fresh air and you will be able to reap the benefits. Get it out, get it out, get it out. All those unnecessary items sitting around your house that you can put on OfferUp, Let Go, Facebook Marketplace. You could do a yard sale, but it can't stay with you because you're in a season of making more than your expenses. You're in a season of getting out of debt. Whatever you're doing right now, you have to make sure you understand that, okay, I want to get to a point where I feel a little bit freer. I want to get to a point where I don't have to do the thing that I'm doing right now. So if that's you, then you have to really think about it. Is all these things that's surrounding you, are every single one of these little pieces or whatever you have in your house, is it worth it? Can you get rid of it? Can you sell it for a decent amount online or in person? Because if you can, it's probably smarter to take that money and use that money to invest in other things such as dividend stocks, which I talk about in this video. Also, I talk about high yield savings account in that same video. All these things that you could put that money towards. And let me be honest with you, I'll be the first to tell you that those things won't make you a millionaire, but it'll put you in a mindset to where you can change your life up to where you do actually start to truly make more than your expenses. Because I can tell you, when I started all these habits, when I started all these things that I'm telling you right now, I wasn't making much. But as time went on, I started one thing and then that thing made me do another thing, all the way snowballing until I got to a point where I'm just making more than my expenses just off my main source of income. But you do have to take the steps to do that. That doesn't happen overnight. And let's be real, majority of the people that are falling into major debt, they are very young. They're young, they don't understand, they haven't built their skills to a point to where they can get out of that with those skills. So I say these things because I experienced them all. You go through it, you learn life, you fall on your face, and then you get back up. Some people don't. But if you're watching this channel, if you're subscribed to this channel, which subscribe to the channel, but if you're subscribed to this channel, then I'm sure you're going to get back up because I like to talk about personal finance. So if you're watching this kind of content, I know that you already have the right mindset. Let's get out of this. It's just a season, people. It's just a season, and we're going to get out of this together. But that was today's video, and I hope to see y'all on the next one.